super healthy. So, I mean, vegans still eat the things that you already like, from barbecue wings, but the vegan version, meatballs, fish fillets that are plant-based made, and dirty rice, jambalaya, gumbo. It's just crafted in a way where you're using substitutes and taking out the meat or taking out the dairy, taking out the butter and using a vegan butter. So yeah, that's it. Welcome to my kitchen. That's done. I'm gonna pack some up for family. But that's just another side when you're trying to get family to transition. If you're already vegan, or you want a cheat day and you're not really on a specific diet, some of this is really healthy, but obviously the mac and cheese and the greens are canned greens, and the meatless meatballs are still in a package, but everything else is fresh. Yeah. So how are you guys doing today? And hey, Leah. I'll cook for you whenever I'm in your neck of the woods. But did you guys see the full moon last night and the eclipse and the planetary alignment? If you didn't, you might be able to still catch the planet parade. If you download the app, it's called Night Sky, right to your phone. And you can see all the planets in one line on one side of the sun for the first time in, I think, about 37 years. Hey, okay, 215 push 757. Them canned greens are so good. The glory greens, oh my gosh. That's when you're cheating and you don't have all day to be, cleaning greens and slicing them and dicing them. Yeah. What do you think about wheat? I mean, I try not to consume wheat as much as possible, but some of that kashi cereal is bomb. I use it with oat or coconut milk, and there's wheat in it. It's wheat-based. I don't have a wheat allergy. I don't have a gluten allergy, but I can say that it definitely does bloat you. Now, it's a better alternative than white bread or, high fructose corn syrup cereal. But, eating raw as much as possible, or at least incorporating it to be a dominant part of your diet, is the most healthy, of course. Anyway, who did the challenge? How are you feeling? I worked out already and I showered already. I don't look sweaty. I'm just glowing because I put some oil on my face. Coconut oil, to be exact. Wheat. We were talking about wheat, not weed. Yes, right? The Kashi cinnamon joint is off the chain. Slim Slugger 30. All right, I'll turn the music down. It's on low volume. What about sprouted bread? I'm not mad at sprouted bread or rye bread. Much more healthy. What inspired you to transition to vegan? I'm a crazy person that does extreme stuff, so I'm always doing challenges. And I said one year, okay, I'm going to do vegetarian. I'm going to run a marathon. I'm going to not drink any alcohol, including wine. These were different years apart. But the next step was vegan. It was a willpower challenge initially, and then immediately I started reading, and then my eyes opened and my mouth dropped to the floor with all the information and knowledge that I acquired along the way. And I'm like, oh my God. And then all the benefits showed up internally, externally, and I just never went back because of the things that I discovered. Yeah. But I love it, and I started eating a lot of things that I never even heard of. Food is so fun to play with, and all the colors. So it just became like a new playground for me. And then I started feeling younger and looking younger and sleeping better and performing better. Yeah, I reversed my anemia. A lot of things happened that were just divine. So never going back. And let's see. There's a starter guide that's expanded now on my website, mayamaya.com, in the lifestyle section. For those of you that have not heard me say that a billion times. If you want to join the next challenge, you have some time to read up on it, and let me know what else or other pieces of information you might want me to add, because I'm updating it on a regular basis. Yes, indeed. It's amazing. And it's just so tasty. That's what I would like to say. Vegan life has been so, So if you did participate in the challenge, how are you feeling? What was your biggest challenge? And what did you learn about yourself? By the way, the next challenge is August 1st. We're going to be doing the challenges on the 1st of every month for the rest of the year. By the last quarter, the fourth quarter of this year, we'll probably get up to 6 or 7 days. But we're going to start with 3, of course, just to make it a little bit more attainable and easy for everybody. Okay, good question. Junior Riley, 1905. Did the transition from eating meat to becoming vegan shock your body, and what did you do to cope? No, because I was vegetarian before I was vegan. And before I was vegetarian, I was pescatarian. And I actually named the entire transitions from being flexitarian to pescatarian to vegetarian, vegan, raw vegan, alkaline vegan, etc. In my starter guide, if you have phases that you prefer versus kind of jumping in head first. But it was super easy for me. I wasn't missing anything. I didn't have a dairy addiction. Really didn't care too much for cheese. But immediately I discovered other alternatives that I actually liked better and were sweeter, like coconut milk and almond milk, at the time cashew and hemp milk, which I never had heard of at that time. And now there's oat milk, which is my second favorite next to coconut milk. So it's just been really fun. You get to play in the kitchen. It's a nice playground to experiment with new vegetables that you didn't necessarily grow up on, or try new fruits, especially when you travel, because there's different species of fruits and vegetables from nature, even nuts and seeds or grains that don't necessarily exist in our grocery stores or even in our country. So, food has always been my highlight and my favorite thing of the day anyway. But it's really fun to travel and try new things too. Vegan, of course. Okay. Okay, Vic Rare. Yes, vegan means no animals, no animal products. And vegetarians, if you're an ovo vegetarian, you still consume eggs. If you're a lacto vegetarian, you consume milk or dairy and products that have both in it. Vegans don't consume butter because it's from animal fat, and they don't also consume honey, gelatin, a lot of gummy bears and jelly beans, and certain vitamins. The gummy vitamins have gelatin, which is basically animal parts and bones all kind of mixed together and boiled. So, it's different between vegans and vegetarians. And then Ovo-lacto vegetarians consume both dairy and eggs. I hope I answered your question. Am I making my blueberry pie? No, I'm not making that today. I cooked a lot of food and it's for family, but I'm going to also indulge since I finished my 3-day challenge and get right back to what I was doing before, by eating more clean. Today is day 25 of my 30-day workout program. I missed a day because I was in the editing room. But I feel really good, and I felt so good when I did the challenge, especially on my juicing day. I craved more juice and fruits. Do you think you can go alkaline vegan? Actually, I have been alkaline vegan. I do a combination of everything now, but I have done a challenge. I think it was my 2018 challenge that was alkaline. Last year I did raw. I might have done some juicing with that as well. But the year before alkaline, I also did raw. So I reached the point of being fully alkaline in my fourth quarter of 2018. But I started slow with challenges that started at 7 days a month in the first quarter, 14 days a month in the second quarter, and 21 days a month in the third, and then by the fourth quarter, 28 days a month. So baby steps. And a lot of people do the challenges with me. Same options from vegan, raw vegan, alkaline vegan, and juicing, and I chose some winners. Yeah, we went on a retreat to Costa Rica, which was super fun. But yeah, this food I can't wait to get into. I'm still waiting to hear from you guys. What are some good vegan desserts? Let's see. Vegan desserts. I make a mean combination pie. So I make a peach apple cobbler pie. I also make my own ice cream with coconut milk made from coconut water and the coconut jelly or the coconut meat, all in a NutriBullet. I might add some mango or pineapple or a little bit of fruit like banana to set it off. But I make my own ice cream. You just freeze it. You can make some ice pops and all that as well. And then my specialty pie that I've been known for since like 2003. Apple blueberry. I get hit up about that pie so often, and I've actually FedExed 2 pies to the studio before because they were like, yo, we need some pies at the studio. Can you cook for us, or can you send me the recipe? I'm like, nah, I can't give the recipe because it's a secret recipe, and I vowed not to ever share it because somebody's grandmother gave it to me, and I had to pull teeth to get it. But for 17 years, I've been making apple blueberry pies, and every time it's served, people think it's crack. And it's vegan, So I make the gluten-free versions. I also can make the raw versions. And what's the other one? The graham cracker crust version. I can make my own crusts with a nut, like a pistachio or macadamia or an almond, a walnut mixed with dates. It's amazing. So there's all kinds of versions that you can make, and they still taste the same. The flavor doesn't change. Maybe the texture does slightly, depending on the ingredients that you use. But I've always loved cooking. I don't know what it's been since I was a kid. I've always loved cooking. Maybe because I'm the oldest in my family. I've always been the one to cook, and watch my brothers and stuff. Okay, Aziza, how are you feeling? What's the question about this vegan diet that you have? Ooh, Afro Chick or Afro Chic 40. Can you post it to your page so I can see what it looks like? She just made a vegan cheesecake. I'm not really one for a sweet tooth, but when I'm in the mood, I can tear some pie up and some cake up. Vegan. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Danny's Life. There's actually a company in Houston, Texas that I've tried some from, and it's amazing. Okay, good questions. Irish moss recipes. If you use it, where do you buy yours? Okay, Love Conquers 21. I get my Irish moss from Fruits and Roots in the raw consistency, in the powder form, which works when I'm traveling on the road and I just want to hit my button on my personal smoothie maker. I order from Alkaline Gourmet, and these are the Instagram handles that I'm giving you right now for powder. And then More Than One Way Sea Moss, and that's with the number 1. They serve capsules, but also they serve pre-made gel, and they can ship it right to your doorstep. So those are the 3 companies that I'm familiar with that I actually have used. And there's another new company that hit me up that's going to be sending me some to try out. I don't know what form it's coming in, but I'm going to add it to my starter guide if I like it. And also, the last company that I mentioned, they have a version that they add black seed oil, which is completely good for you, into their sea moss. So there's the traditional kind, pre-made gel, and then the other kind that has black seed on it. The companies, once again, are Fruits and Roots, and that's with a Z at the end for the raw sea moss, Alkaline Gourmet for the powder form, and More Than One Way Sea Moss with the number 1 instead of 1 spelled out. That gives you the options of black seed sea moss or original sea moss in gel format, but also capsules. How long have you been vegan? Dale DeQuan or D1 says, I have completed 6 years as of July 1st, and so I'm now starting my 7th year of vegan life. Is coconut oil good? Yes, there's no saturated fat in coconut oil, but you cannot cook with coconut oil because, well, above certain temperatures, let's say that, because it turns toxic, just like olive oil will turn toxic after a certain degree. And so what I do is just use them on salads or put it on top of something if I want a little extra marination instead of heating them up. So I cook with grapeseed oil instead. Avocado oil is great to cook with, and so is sesame oil. I just don't find the taste of sesame oil to my liking. It has a very, very earthy taste to it, and I prefer grapeseed oil. Yeah. Can you share your favorite vegan cheese brands? Follow Your Heart is one of my favorites in mainstream or chain grocery stores. But my absolute favorite that I've tried, and it's kind of gourmet-like, is Kite Hill. And I have listed an entire archive of vegan cheese brands, vegan plant-based meat brands in my starter guide, along with shampoos, conditioners, deodorants, toothpaste, aluminum-free, natural to use. All those are in my starter guide at mayamaya.com/lifestyle, along with makeup, hair care, hair dyes, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, so check it out for sources. There are vegan apps on there, vegan websites, books, movies to watch if you want to get educated. And then obviously my personal testimony that I open up with a welcome statement, table of contents, and then the list of eliminations to make in your diet, and then the substitutes accordingly. So it's really super easy. You can have everything that you already like, from pancakes to mac and cheese to meatballs to your pastas, but you just have to read the back of the boxes when you're purchasing processed foods to make sure that there is no eggs in there. And if you have an egg or dairy allergy, some of the things that are actually vegan can be made in facilities that process those things, so there might be cross contact, and you could have an allergic reaction in from certain products that have cross contact. Yeah, so check it out. There's just so much information. Love Conquers 21, the actual company is called More Than One Way Sea Moss. So don't forget to add the sea moss at the end. Beauty behavior. How have you felt health-wise since going vegan? I've felt the best I've ever felt in my entire life. I have reversed my anemia, nowhere close to the borderline. I have not had any injuries because even though advertisements have taught us that dairy builds strong bones, it actually depletes calcium from the bones, so it's a big lie. And plant-based milks have actually a lot more calcium, and they build stronger bones. And so I haven't had any fractures since I've gone vegan. I haven't had any injuries, except for a knee injury, but that was caused by my dog running full force and speed ahead on some ice in the winter, right into my knee. But that didn't have anything to do with my bones. What else? I mean, I have a clearer mind. I can maintain a healthy weight. I don't gain dramatic weight like I used to. And it just kind of instills a lot of discipline, but just clear conscious. And there's a spiritual connection to eating clean and eating living foods, and obviously not contributing to cruelty or murder and rape and torture and all the animal abuse that happens. But then you get to control also what you put into your body. Whether you want to invest in organic, pesticide-free stuff, which is the healthier alternative, but not always the cheapest. I've cut out so much that I haven't seen a budget difference because I no longer buy the candy bars and the Pringles and the crazy chips that I like to snack on or used to snack on once upon a time. And really invest into my health. So I haven't bought medications or anything like that because I rarely get sick. And if I have, it's usually because I've been in a venue that has cigarette smoke. That's the only time I get sick because I'm allergic to cigarette smoke and I can't be around it. And so I can't control those types of environments. And then obviously if you're not taking care of your immune system and traveling every day and on planes or in recycled circulated air, then you're not sleeping and you're moving and traveling and exposed to so many germs and people all the time. Yeah, you still have to eat clean, but also wash your hands, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we're now stationary, so things have just changed dramatically overnight for a lot of us. But I would rarely get sick in my vegan life. And once again, that was usually caused by cigarette smoke contact. But that's it. Yes, dandelion is a great iron plant-based source, and so is kale, collards, amaranth greens, callaloo. A lot of leafy green vegetables are rich in iron, and so I started consuming a lot more of those when I went vegan and raw vegan. And that's how I reversed my anemia, just by consuming more iron-rich foods. And then on top of that, sea moss contains 92 of the 102 minerals that the human body is made of. So I would definitely recommend sea moss in your daily regiment, lifestyle, diet. Me, I hate sea moss by itself, but I can't taste it in a smoothie, so that's how I consume it. I don't put it in my salads or anything like that. I put it in my smoothies and chug it back. What up, Jason? How you doing? Are you making music during this time? What up, Bank? How are you doing? How's it going? That's awesome that you make your own almond milk. Amazing. Andy 808, do you eat potatoes? From time to time I might, but they might be the russet potatoes, but mostly sweet potato. And then the new ones that I just got, I've never had them before. They're purple on the outside and yellow on the inside. I don't know what they're called, but they're definitely a sweet potato. And I cooked that today with some collard greens, some black-eyed peas, some dirty rice, some mac and cheese that's vegan, and some cheese-drizzled meatless meatballs, a romaine salad with cherry tomatoes and apples, onion, cucumber. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. I'm gonna throw down. Are vegans getting more popular? I don't really know, but I think social media has gotten more popular, and then everybody's eyes are open to many different options that they have now. I don't know. It's a way of life, you know? And it's so divine. I love it. It's so fun, too. Where is Jax with his cute big self? Hot girl Leah. He's outside. He just had his dinner time. And so he's outside just chilling, laying down on the deck. I love callaloo too. I add bell peppers to it with onion. So I eat spinach very rarely, but I posted spinach on my first day raw vegan because it's attainable for most people and most people are used to eating it. So it was raw, obviously, but you know, I very rarely consume spinach because I like to stick to a regimen as much as possible and do a kale instead, or arugula, or Swiss chard, or, you know, amaranth greens, dandelion greens, more alkaline-based stuff since I know better. But not everyone has tried all of those things, so the next best option for attainability, if that's even a freaking word, I put spinach down on my challenge collage because it's something that people like. Iceberg lettuce is not something that I also use anymore, so instead I use a butter lettuce or a romaine lettuce because it's not on the alkaline chart. And that is why. I know accountability is a word. I don't know if attainability is. Do you find cooking vegan is easier? Cooking vegan is actually the exact same thing as cooking anything else. You just use a plant-based milk, a plant-based butter, a plant-based cheese if you're actually cooking. And an adjustment from Crisco or an animal fat butter to a vegan butter or a healthier oil alternative. Grapeseed is what I use. So it's just about substitutes to really make the same exact thing. For pancakes, I don't use white flour because white flour is killing us. White rice is really bad. White bread is bad. White dairy milk is bad. You know, these constipate the system. They're not natural. And they have no nutritional value. So I use a spelt flour instead. Sometimes a buckwheat flour, a coconut flour, a chickpea flour. These are just healthier and they don't leave you bloated or constipated. So that's what I've learned, not to just go vegan, but to make healthier choices. And it took me about a year to start adjusting. That's why I put myself to the challenge to do raw vegan, because I still like my processed foods, you know, especially when you're on the road and only have access to one thing like a flour tortilla, or just take the tortilla out and have a salad bowl instead of the tortilla with the rice, with the beans. Choose brown rice or wild rice instead, or a quinoa, a super food, ancient. So, why do you like spinach? I don't necessarily like spinach. I didn't say I liked it. I said I actually included it because many people like it. But I prefer kale, amaranth greens, collard greens, Swiss chard, things like that, arugula. Yeah. All right, let's see. Do you know where I can get soursop that's not expensive? Who asked that question? Eyes and glow. Yes, I do. So I don't know where you live, but I usually find soursop in the international markets. Every neighborhood usually has some international markets. Obviously a grocery store that you can go in that has fresh produce. I'm not talking about corner stores or bodegas, but the international grocery markets. They usually have them when they're in season. Otherwise, Fruits and Roots also delivers soursop boxes. Depending on what your budget is, I don't know what expensive means, but that's another source of getting them delivered straight to your door. Vegan food is so delicious. So what vegan dish is your favorite? Leo SC30 with a whole bunch of dots and underscores. What's my favorite vegan food? I don't really know. I love so much food. It's hard. It's hard to choose. I would have to break it up in categories, you know? Vegan pumpkin waffles. Ooh, are fire for the morning. Kashi breakfast cereal is nice when you're doing, more processed stuff. Still hearty. I love fresh tropical fruits in the morning because of how it makes me feel. I love my smoothies, and my most recent favorite smoothie that I have discovered is my maize sapote. Making that into a smoothie tastes like dessert any time of the day works. To consume that in smoothie format, you can just add water because it's such a thick fruit, and it tastes like sweet potato or pumpkin pie, but much sweeter actually. And it's a bright, beautiful orange-red color, and it just tastes so great in smoothie form. I love that in the morning, and I put a little of my Garden of Life protein vanilla powder for post-workout shakes. I add that, and it comes in raw. It's obviously organic. But as far as like meals are concerned, I love to go out and just kind of like explore at vegan restaurants. I haven't been doing any of that since COVID hit. I like to cook a lot, so I've been cooking some Thai curry. My latest favorite for dinner and lunch has been jerk, rice and peas, callaloo with ackee, no saltfish, some bell peppers, and what else? Plantains. I've made that. It's the summertime, so I love, Ital foods, especially when I'm in the Caribbean. It's just a beautiful feeling to be surrounded by just natural foods and flavor. I'm big on seasoning, let's say that. Any curry though, Indian curry, Thai curry, Caribbean curry. Jerk. Tofu, question mark. I don't know what the actual question is about tofu. I don't really consume it that often. I have occasionally when that's the only option. Not a big fan of it, but if it's the only option, I may play with it depending on if I'm in the midst of a challenge or not. But I don't really consume too much soy because it's usually GMO. But I do know the misconception of soy is that it contains estrogen, which is false. It actually contains a phytoestrogen that plants produce, which is not going to give you man boobs or turn you into a female, or cause fibroids. But most of the soy produced in this country is consumed by animals. So if you're not a big soy eater and you're against it, you're still consuming it by eating animals because they consume it and it's within their makeup. So I hope I answered your question, which was just tofu. If you're going to eat it, I suggest you get the extra firm texture, but it's not going to kill you. And sparingly, it's definitely not going to kill you. Yes, no saltfish for a vegan. No saltfish. Hey, Angie. Check out Angie's page. She was one of my challenge winners. I think you actually won 2 years in a row for the quarter that you were competing in. And she created her own cooking page. It's called Cooking with Supernova. She has the bomb recipes if you want to get some ideas. And she's one of my challenge winners for a couple of years. And she actually went on the Costa Rica vegan retreat with the challenge winners. I think it was at the top of last year. I could be wrong. Time flies. January 2019. Yes, good point. Love Conquers 21. Thank you for throwing that in there. Soy that is genetically modified is designed to resist so many, probably antibiotics. And obviously pesticides are used that they throw in there. So if you are going to consume soy, just make sure that it is organic for those reasons. Yes, indeed. No problem, Super Saiyan Sauce God Goku. That's a long Instagram name. What's your favorite tropical fruit? Good question. I have a couple, but my top, first and foremost, favorite tropical fruit is mangosteen. It's not a mango. It's an actual purple fruit on the outside. You can hold it in your hand. It's like the size of a tennis ball or smaller sometimes, or even large. But it has an inside of white pods, like the cacao pods, the chocolate fruit. However, they come in the shape of a flower that hasn't blossomed yet, of petals, but inside each pod is a seed. I can't even describe the taste because there's nothing like it. I can't even describe the texture, but it's super soft, it's super hydrating, and it's juicy. It's sweet, but it's not a sweet potato sweet. It's not a watermelon sweet. It's not pear. I don't even know. It's kind of like eating a flower with a tang and sugar combined. So I don't know if I'm describing it right. I haven't had it since January of last year. But it's amazing. My next one is soursop. The one after that is jackfruit. Mame sapote is probably 4th, and 5th, lychee. Yeah, actually lychee has become my favorite accessible fruit. So that would be number 2 for me before soursop. Yes. Who else participated in this 3-day challenge that we just finished? And how do you feel? I'm so proud of you guys, by the way. I'm talking to the fellas right now because usually not too many guys participate in the challenges. And I was so happy to see like a lot of guys participate this year. I was so proud. I don't know if it's because, fruit and vegetables look girly or something, but you guys were doing it. I saw a lot of your posts and your plating that you presented on your collages or your slides. They look, I'm not going to say like a woman did it, but it looked like you put some extra special love and care and attention into it. I was just so proud and happy. It's usually mostly ladies, like 95% ladies that do the challenges. Not too many guys, actually invest time to make their salads or cook meals or even make them look organized and colorful and placing certain ingredients and appetizers on the side or separately, like the lighting was on point. I was so proud. So congratulations to the fellas out there. Right, like a woman did it. I hope I was leading by example. Yeah. I didn't want to say that, but it touched my heart. I was like, yes, thank you. Maybe because y'all got time now because everybody's at home, Well, some people, not everybody. So that was amazing to see. I'm stuck on it. On both sides. Hey, DMV, where you at? The terms to this challenge, RIP. See, you almost made me shed a tear. RJP, my bad. RJP 0901. The terms to this challenge are posted on mayamaya.com/events. And you can also go to mayamaya.com/lifestyle where you'll actually get the starter guide. You'll get the Dr. Sebi's alkaline list of foods that you can consume if you're considering an alkaline diet. You can also get the background story to my wine, which is a vegan organic wine, and the vineyard that produces it. It's organic, all organic by the way, an award-winning vineyard. You can also get a gourmet cookbook with some very brief recipes by someone that studied under the direction of Dr. Sebi. His name is Atum Dre, and his PDF of his alkaline book is on my website in that same lifestyle section. And then the challenge, which is now taking place in August, the 1st of every month, obviously for the rest of the year, but the next one happens August 1st. And you can find the terms there as well under my starter guide, or you can just go to mayamaya.com/events for the August challenge. And the same terms are listed there. Yes, amazing turnout this time. I was so happy. I think it's the 3-day thing and then a little bit of quarantine and COVID. But all of this depressive eating and refrigerator best friend relationship happening for months now. I was sensitive about doing the challenge early on because I think everybody was kind of trying to figure out maybe stimulus checks or what's happening with the world, and I wanted to be respectful of that, so I didn't necessarily want to start immediately. But I also wanted to add the starter guide with some information and make it expanded. So there's a lot more information in that guide now than there was last year, and a lot of brand sources that you guys have been asking me about so that I can give you a directory of lots of information and a wide array of options that you had to choose from. And that took a couple months to craft and also give a facelift to. The cover of the guide is different than what it was last year. And I've added some pictures and recipes of my own in the recipe section. There are new films that have been released, so those are now in the films or films to watch section of the guide. So it's just more resourceful now, and I wanted to take the time to do that. and just make it more effective for you guys. And now I'm studying food combination, when to eat, what to eat, how to eat, fasting, and all that kind of stuff. So, challenge winners, I'll be choosing a challenge winner for every challenge, just one. And I'll be gifting a lot of great things. I'll be communicating with you directly because I need to know what you already have. But if you don't have a juicer, you get a juicer. If you prefer something like a Vitamix, which is more of a blender for food and liquids, NutriBullets, personal smoothies at the click of a button. You know, you can travel with it and don't necessarily need an outlet, but more of a USB straight into your computer to charge. Like really cool gadgets and stuff that have come out. Eco-friendly straws, stainless steel, coconut bowls, wooden spoons. If you have kids, oh, let me show you what I just discovered. So if you have kids, because a lot of people have been asking me, so I have kids, how do I go vegan and make it fun and get them to be on board? There are these shape cutters for fruit. I have a niece, I have godchildren, I have nephews. You know, you can make it fun by making it look pretty and presentation. That's also in the tips section of trying to get your kids or your family on board. Just cutting out shapes of your apples, of your honeydew, of your watermelon, of your cantaloupe, pineapple, and then making it like a cake decoration plate or whatever. People eat with their eyes and kids eat with color. And so that's a nice trick. Just leave it there. Don't force it on them. They're going to want to touch it. They're going to grab at it. And it's going to be something they look forward to. You can have them involved in the process. And what I did with some of my foundation students, I had like a little seminar with kids, and we made smoothies. And I allowed them to create the names of the smoothies and pick the fruits that they wanted to use. And so they made their little menu and got to name it like they had their own restaurant. And so getting kids involved in making the process, getting kids involved in the process of making food, especially the colorful ones, I found to be really effective as far as getting them on board and making it an event instead of something that's forced upon them. Because kids love colors. You know, they love shapes. They love hearts. They love animals. You know, it's really easy. And the same thing applies to adults. You know, when you make anything with your plating and decorate it with a little flower on the side or some pomegranate seeds or strawberries on the side or whatever looks pretty, people are more likely gonna turn their heads, do a double take, and want to indulge. That's what I have discovered. So that's a little tip if you have kids. Yeah, you can make cookies out of this too. You can actually do this with your frozen ice cream. All of that. We call it nice cream if it's vegan. Angie, I know you have a kid, so this comes in handy. It's cute. Amazing. Terry Graves. Do you take sea moss? Yes, we actually talked about sea moss earlier. And I take 3 brands. There is one from Fruits and Roots that you actually have to make yourself because it comes in raw formats or raw state and consistency. You have to boil that one. Now, there are 2 other companies, Alkaline Gourmet. They serve their sea moss in powder form, which I like because I can take it on the road with me and don't have to refrigerate it. I just pop it in my smoothies and blend it, and I'm good to go. As far as gel pre-made, I use More Than One Way sea moss. That brand is great. They also serve capsules. How long have you been vegan? I have been vegan for 6 complete years, and I just started my 7th year on July 1st, which we call my vegan-versary. sea moss capsules, not caps. Yeah. Some of you guys kind of joined after the fact, and I'm just going to show you what I made for family. And this was basically for the point of, obviously, Sunday, I like to cook and serve my family and deliver it to a couple of folks that are transitioning. But this is what I could consider to be more transitional foods, because the raw diets, the alkaline diets, and the juicing that I did isn't really attractive or encouraging enough to many people. And they're like, that's boring. I like my cheese. I need macaroni and cheese. I need my pancakes. I need my chicken wings or my meat or whatever. That is for that crowd that thinks that you don't eat anything but rabbit food. So here's a nice healthy dish that we're gonna start with. This is a Hawaiian mix. I'll describe it as we go. Onions, bell peppers, pineapple, more bell peppers, tomatoes. This is all baked. Portobello mushroom, and here is the purple sweet potato that I was talking about, that's yellow on the inside. These are really sweet. More peppers. My mom actually had a nice chunk out of this, so not everything is divinely placed. Here are the sweet potatoes that I made with a coconut sugar drizzle with earth balanced butter. It's a nice dessert, actually. Very much like sweet potato, but different. Super sweet though. Collard greens with some yellow bell peppers and onions. Super tasty. Red peppers too. You can put your Scotch bonnet pepper on this, if you like spice, or your hot sauce. Some of my family just loves corn and demanded it. I don't deal with it, but I made it and I added it. So this is zucchini. It's kind of like a dirty rice, but not. Okra, zucchini, onions, more bell peppers, mushroom, squash, and brown rice, onion, black eyed peas. Amazing. Oh, so good. I put some pink Himalayan sea salt in here. And just a little salad. I made some dressing that I'm going to put you guys onto. That's a little appetizer with some fresh apples, Honeycrisp apples, cherry tomatoes, red onion, cucumber, and that is romaine lettuce. This is the vegan mac and cheese. There are layers and layers of the vegan mac and cheese, and this is chickpea pasta, by the way. This is not wheat pasta. Chickpea, super soft, so when you bake it, it won't get too hard. Now we have these meatless meatballs drizzled in a cheese sauce, provolone cheese sauce, and these are super tender, but you can bake them to your liking, however much you want. Added some olive oil, a little bit of water to keep them marinated, but that's really it. And there's fennel in here, and yeah, that's what's going on in my kitchen. So this is like a family feast. My grandmother has requested me to cook for her weekly, so I love when family is like, can I have some more of that? Can you cook for me? And I'm sharing with a couple of my friends and my aunts, my mom, and my dad, So it's amazing. That's just a little other side of veganism that I wanted to show you versus my challenges that are super clean, super boring looking. They might be colorful, but a lot of people are like, that's why I can't go vegan. Good question, Shantae. Do you take multivitamin tablets or vitamin D? I take vitamin D chewables and a B12 as well. which everyone should, especially during this time. If you're not getting outdoors enough, that's where you get your source of vitamin D, or you can consume fortified vitamin D foods in addition to fortified B12 foods. I have a list of those sources, from foods to supplements, in my starter guide, mayamaya.com/lifestyle. Whether you're vegan or not, you need to be taking those supplements. B12 is not made from animals, so you cannot get it eating animals, and you can't get it as a vegan unless you're not washing your fruits and vegetables, because B12 is produced in the soil. We once upon a time used to consume B12 naturally when we were just kind of picking our vegetables from the ground or the roots from the ground and consuming them raw without washing them off in nature, or picking fruit that fell off the tree from the ground. I mean, we live in a different world and society now where we go to a grocery store and we don't pick our stuff anymore. So that's why it's really important to take a B12 substitute or supplement. What milk do you use? I like to make my own milk from fresh coconuts. I use the coconut jelly and the coconut water inside the coconut, and I put it in my NutriBullet, which is a super powerful device that makes your smoothies in like 15 to 30 seconds. And then it takes slightly longer, maybe 45 to a minute and a half if you're grinding up frozen things or more of the harder coconut meat. So it's still very quick of a process, and you don't have to do any straining. That's why I love coconut milk. For the other milks like cashew or almond or walnut or hemp seed milk, you often have to use a strainer, except for the hemp seeds. Sesame seeds, you can make a paste called tahini. But what I like to do is make my cheeses from cashews or walnuts. And that's also just soaking your nuts. Walnuts take a little longer than cashews. Put it in the NutriBullet cup, however much you want to make, fill it up. Add water, not too much. And then you can drain out a little bit of water. The nuts actually soak up the water, and your nuts will be a little softer. And so when you're ready to blend it, you just turn the cap, twist it, and now you have a cream, or you have a thicker cheese consistency, which you can also turn into a salad dressing. I actually made some on